Good day everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Alec Baldwin and his daughter Hilaria Baldwin spoke out on Sunday, December the 27th, to defend his wife Hilaria Baldwin after she was accused of faking her Spanish accent. Hours after Alec's wife addressed questions posed by some on social media about her background and heritage, the 30-rock alum took to Instagram to express his thoughts.
My kids are lucky because they have each other. They don't get to hang out with their friends or go to school because of what's going on. But they have each other, and I think they're lucky in that regard. I want to say that I have a Facebook page which was a placeholder to hold my name because people would appropriate your name, my name, anybody's name. If you were a public person, a well-known person, they would take your name and then they would sell it back to you. Remember, with certain social media, I had to buy back my name, a domain for my website, my personal website, alecbaldwin.com, whatever. And I have a Facebook page as a placeholder. I don't really interact too much with that. Hardly at all, really. I have a Twitter page, which I would probably get rid of if it weren't a tool for promotion, supposedly. And I have an Instagram page, which I enjoy. Instagram I like, which is a shame it's owned by Facebook, because Facebook is, let's face it, Facebook is a corporation you should avoid if you could. You should avoid them if you can, But what's up with the people who created Facebook? I don't know. They sound like people who never knew who they were to begin with, which is why they invent crap like this, and they've only gotten worse. Owning Facebook, founding Facebook, reaping the billions of dollars that have resulted from creating and growing Facebook, hasn't achieved anything in terms of their personal growth. They're a certain kind of person, and now they're the same kind of person that they were back when, just with a whole lot more money. But it hasn't really improved them, changed them, helped them to grow at all. Sounds like the people who founded Facebook and run Facebook are pretty whatever. I use Twitter as an aggregator for news, people that I follow who I like, and every now and then I can't resist. I go, I dump my thing on there about Trump, public policy, COVID, masks, whatever, white privilege, so forth. And but I'm not, like Twitter to me is something where you got to really, really pick through the garbage. It's like a big swap meet. It's a big swap meet. And over here on this table, we have some used coasters with the rings on them and the stains on them. Some cardboard coasters with the name of some bar. And those are on sale for 25 cents. And over here we have some bottle openers, vintage bottle openers from some bar. And we have empty coffee cans, just if you want to store some stuff in there. It's just a lot of, shit. And then every now and then you go, ooh, look at that. That's something. Look at that picture frame or what have you. So you have to kind of hack your way through the debris on Twitter. Twitter is just a vast orchard of crap. And I have certainly flung some crap in that orchard myself every now and then with things I've said, but that's not lost on me that I'm guilty of that as well. But I would probably dump Twitter tomorrow if it weren't a situation where people I work for are just so down your throat now about social media as a means of promoting your product. But I want to say just quickly that, and I know that I'm speaking to a group of people who get this already, and the people that don't get this, God bless them. God bless you that you go through life believing what you believe. And, all the people that would write to me, Pizzagate, Epstein. And I thought, I never met Epstein in my life. They said to me, your phone number was in his phone book. Well, my phone number was in his phone book that's what we call the dummy line. That was the phone number. If it was the number I think it is, which is it's an office line. I have an answering service, which we've given to people for 30 years, which is the number we give you when we don't want to return your phone call at all or not too promptly. But Pizzagate, Epstein, you're on Epstein's flight log. Wrong. All those things you read where people were trying to lacquer me with accusations about things. And I've lived through years of people saying things which were true, that I am responsible for, that I brought on myself. I have only myself to blame. And then things that are not true at all. And I won't bother getting into a whole litany about that. And then they write things about people I know, friends, colleagues, people I love, family members, my siblings. They write things, a lot of it not true, not true. Some of it true, a lot of it not true. And I just want to say to people that, as a quick little thought, which is that you got to consider the source. You have to consider the source. We live in a world now where we're hidden behind the anonymity of social media. People feel that they can say anything. They can say anything. They probably would like to do anything if they weren't at risk of getting caught and going to prison. But because they can't do that, because that involves real commitment to do something, to express those feelings, they say things. No profile picture. Very often, sometimes, yes. No identifying features there, hidden behind the anonymity of social media. They want to just shoot it all over you and spray it all over you, their venom and their hate. And you have to consider the source. There's things that have been said lately about people that I love, that I care about deeply, which are ridiculous. I mean, just ridiculous. Consider the source. Consider the source. Guess what? If something comes on and you see something online that comes from TMZ, don't watch it. TMZ is a sewage treatment plant. TMZ is just one giant vat of garbage. If the New York Post writes something, that's just one gigantic, it's another sewage treatment plant. Consider the source. Consider the source. I mean, if someone said something disparaging to me, judged me harshly, and it was somebody I respected and admired, and that's happened from time to time too. I've heard some people say some things that were, I thought, wow, that sucks. But I would say the majority of what's been said, and again, I don't want to get into enumerating what those things are, is false. And some of it's so spectacularly false. And they've said it about people I love. False things. Untrue things. And as much as that hurts, the only thing I can do is talk to that half of the public, or that portion of the public, who understands what I mean when I say consider the source. Consider the source. It's a sunny day here. We're going to go and enjoy a sunny day. Me and my little pack. When you love somebody, you want to defend them.
Hilaria, 36, became a trending topic on Twitter after several users claimed in a thread that she is pretending to have a Spanish accent. Videos posted showed the yoga instructor speaking with a Spanish accent and, in one instance, forgetting the English word for cucumber. But in later videos, she didn't have the same accent. The Living Clearly method author spoke out about the allegations in an Instagram video, admitting that her real name is Hilary and that she was born in Massachusetts, not Spain. She said,
"Hey guys, how are you? So I wanted to respond to some things that I've been seeing on Twitter, and I just want to be very clear, just because I think that there's some stuff that needs to be clarified. I've tried in the past to be clear, but sometimes people don't always report and write what you say, and I've kind of just put my hands up. But now we have this great community here, so I can just be straightforward with you. I'm sorry, I've got like my crazy hair. So there's been some questions about where I'm born. I'm born in Boston, And then I spent some of my childhood in Boston, some of my childhood in Spain. My family, my brother, my parents, my nephew, everybody is over there in Spain now. I'm here. And so there was like a lot of back and forth my entire life. And I'm really lucky that I grew up speaking 2 languages. And I'm trying to raise my kids so that they speak 2 languages too. And that's something that's very important for me, especially having my family abroad. So that was one thing. I think people ask sometimes about how I speak. I am that person that if I've been speaking a lot of Spanish, I, tend to mix them. And if I'm speaking more English, or doing a lot of English, then I mix that. It's one of those things that's always been I've been a little insecure about over different times. And, when I try to work, I try to enunciate a little bit more. But if I get nervous or upset or something, then I start to mix the two. And again, that's just something that I've always been a little bit insecure about, but I've decided maybe 2021, we will get over that. And I'm definitely addressing it very openly right now with that insecurity. But this idea that I try to speak more clearly in each language. I think that that's something that I should try to do. And, but sometimes I mess it up, but it's not something that I'm like playing at. So I want that to be very, very, very clear. And then, my name. So when I was growing up, and in this country, I would use the name Hillary, and in Spain, I would use the name Hilaria. And my family, like my parents, they call me Hilaria. My whole family call me Hilaria. And, it was something that was always kind of like I see other people do it, and it always kind of bothered me that like neither name sounded good in the other language. So I would, use one or the other. When I was a dancer, I would use that. In American high school, I would do that. And then, a handful of years before I met Alec, I decided to consolidate the two because it was just like so many documents, like so many different things. And at least, like even things like going and picking up a prescription, I'd be like, I don't know what you have on file. So I consolidated and I identify more with Hilaria because that's what my family calls me. And I don't know, but one of the things I love about what my parents called me is that it means happy. It means happy in both languages. I think that we can all be really like clear that it's the same name, just like a few letters different. So I think we shouldn't be so upset about it. And if whatever you guys want to call me, I will respond to both. But literally whatever you guys want. And I feel like those were all the points. The name, something about our wedding that I have all these people from Spain come over for my wedding. We had 44 people come over, my family, my friends come over. And it was like magical. And ultimately this boils down to this idea where, this is a country of a lot of different cultures. And I think that we can be different parts of ourselves with different people. And I'm somebody who I feel really lucky that I grew up with 2 cultures. I grew up speaking 2 languages. I grew up, did I always do it well, through your awkward years and, trying to be more this or be more that. I've said some things about like, oh, she's a white girl. Yes, I am a white girl. And let's be very clear that Europe, has a lot of white people in there. And my family is white. I'm, ethnically, I am a mix of many, many, many things. Culturally, I grew up with the 2 cultures. So it's really as simple as that. And the reason I wanted to take it so seriously is because these are more, cultural conversations are things that we're having a little bit more and more. And I just want to be very, very clear. And in the past, I would get very frustrated when reporters would report this or report that, or and I'd try to be very clear. And they'd be like, oh, so you were born in Spain. And I was like, all right, let me give you a spoiler alert. You're the only one who knows. And I would be laughing because it was like, anytime I would say it, people just want to label you as something else. And I'm like, I'm born in Boston. It was literally the first thing that I told my husband. And yeah, I'm a different kind of Bostonian, but that's who I am. And you kind of can't change your background, nor would I want to. I'm like really, really proud of who I am. And all of my different experiences, and has it made me insecure as everybody over the years? Sure, yeah, I've had my insecurities, but I'm learning that, you know, what makes me unique is also of value to myself, and I can embrace it. And yeah, so for all of those of you who are confused about where I'm from and why I speak 2 languages. I grew up speaking 2 languages, and again, my family lives in Spain. And I can't wait to see them after the pandemic. I've been away from them since last September, not this September, but the September before, and I miss them very much. They haven't met the baby. But again, like anybody who's like coming out of the woodwork and like claiming to like know me, I'm sure we do probably know each other of some sort, and I'm sure that, you know, when we're at certain phases, when we're trying to be this way, be cool or be that or whatever, when we grow up, I mean, nobody wants to go back to those years. I'm sure that we all, you know, tried to be our coolest self.
Alec's daughter Island, who he shares with ex-wife Kim Basinger, also came to her stepmom's defence, posting a series of Instagram story videos, calling Hilaria's critics sad and pathetic for digging so deeply into the life of somebody they don't know.
My first time making a story on an iPad, so I don't really know where to look. And also I fell asleep with a face peel, like I said in my story, and I completely burned my skin. Important to read the instructions and packaging when you're trying new skincare products. But I just wanted to say a couple of things, if you'll allow me. I get this over with and just say a couple of things. Number 1, please stop sending me this stupid ass thread. It's so pathetic that anyone would want to play detective and dig that deep into someone's life that they don't know anything about, don't know how they were raised, who they were actually raised by. It's just kind of sad and pathetic. And also, it's like the holidays, people are depressed, people are going through a lot. I know I'm going through a lot personally. And, you know, the last thing we really need to do is start shit and gossip about something that is just so stupid. But, you know, and about someone that nobody even really knows. Yeah, so number 1, and this person has dug up like old tweets from Hilaria's high school peers and whatever. And they all say one thing about her, and that's that she's really kind. She was really kind when they reflect back on experience with her. And that's because she is very kind. She's a good person. She's a caring person who has always respected my relationship with my dad, and I have a great relationship with her. And, you know, she could be a just terrible, horrible human who tears people down, but she isn't. Hilariia is a wonderful mother who takes great care of her kids, and she takes great care of my dad, and that's really all that matters to me. Number 2, my mom's last name is Basinger, not Bass. And number 3, I'm not worried about my inheritance because I'm going to take good care of me. But thank you so much for your suggestion.
The 25-year-old also added a lengthy comment on Hilaria's most recent Instagram post. I wish people had the chance to know you and know your story the way that I do, rather than from a fabricated 9-hour-long Instagram story. She wrote, I think you are an incredible mum and an inspiration. I know what it's like to have a really awful piece of S.T woman in your place trying to be my stepmother. And I thank God often that the stars aligned and I wound up with a stepmom like you. I love you, and I find it really sad that people have the time that they do to play detective and make up a lot of lies and fabricate a lot of truths to fit a story. She continued, I'm sorry that people are giving you such a hard time during a time that is already so F-king difficult for everyone in this world, coping with the realities of COVID and being without family over the holidays and even losing family during the holidays due to this madness. I know who you are and I know what you are not, and I'm lucky to know you for who you truly are. The Grudge Match actress also referenced one of the original posters, claims that she is pissed that her share of her inheritance from her father is getting smaller and smaller as Alex and Hilaria expand their family. "When I'm worth 900 billion, Ireland wrote to Hilaria, I will definitely give you and the kids, and maybe my dad, a little bit."